Naruto, a Japanese manga and anime series written and illustrated by Mashi Kishimoto, tells the story of a young ninja who seeks to gain recognition from his peers and also dreams of becoming the Hokage, the leader of the village. As the story progresses, the world starts to expand and characters and revelations get revealed left, right, and center. What's good is a boy do the reviews, and I love this series. I love the music, I love the character designs, the OPs, and the endings. The voice acting and the subbed and dubbed both overall and the overall tone of the series. But what I loved most of all about this is the story, and the show really has a great overall story. But there are some story arcs in the series that aren't all that great, and some that are just amazing. So here is my ranking of all the Naruto arcs, including Shippuden, from the very worst to the very best. I will do only the canon related arcs to the manga, so all the filler arcs are excluded. Oh yeah, heavy spoilers coming your way, big spoilers of the entire show, so go watch the entire Naruto series from the very start to the very end. And yeah, if you dare. Looking on the wiki Naruto page, there are overall 19 arcs canon to the series. This is all my silly little opinions on what I think is great or not. None of these arcs are terrible. They are just amazing and fantastic all in their own right. I just like some more than others. On with the countdown. At last place and coming at number 19, and possibly it is in fact the worst Naruto arc, is the 4th Shinobi World War Confrontation. Now, before you say you hate the 4th Shinobi War, let me tell you something. Like, this entire arc is split into about 4 different sections. First, there's 4th Shinobi World War Countdown, Shinobi World War Confrontation, Shinobi World War Climax, Shinobi World War Birth of the 10 Tails Jinchuriki, and Shinobi World War Kaguya Strike. So there's overall 5 different arcs in this Shinobi World War, and the confrontation section is the worst part. Now, if you don't really know what the confrontation section is of this, it's basically the World War has literally just begun. Like, it has just begun, and it's basically all the shinobis of the world, so all the 5 great shinobi against all the people being revived with the reanimation jutsu that Kabuto made, and I just didn't like any of this. Like, you're bringing back all these old allies who died and had this great tragic backstory, and you killing them off, bringing back Zabuza and Haku to Asuna Sensei. Something about that just didn't really ring true to me. Watching those arcs, they were really impactful, they were really deep, and seeing those characters die was so emotional and so impactful, to the point where when Kabuto just brings them back to life, it was really? Come on, that was just not a really good way. I didn't necessarily mind all the other characters, was it the third Kazekage or whatnot? These characters who we've never really seen, I didn't mind them, but when it was these really big OP characters, it was a bit ugh. At first it was interesting, but then it got kind of predictable. They'd bring back someone they know, then they fight them, then they'd be like, you gotta kill me, and then they'd be possessed by Kabuto's jutsu spell thing, and they wouldn't be thinking straight. Only real epic moments in this arc was definitely Galva versus the Mizukage. I really liked that, and definitely Madara being revived by Kabuto. It was a big twist, and everyone was like, wait, what? Madara is alive? So then who's the dude in the mask? It was such a great end to that arc, that big twist, and yeah, I really liked that. But overall, this arc was kind of a letdown and very distasteful, and sometimes really badly animated, But Choji getting that character development when he was fighting Asuna was pretty good. At number 18, we have got the Kaguya Otsutsuki Strikes, basically the final arc in the Naruto canon. This arc, I didn't really like the story behind everything. Everything felt a little bit rushed. Although it was one of the visually better looking arcs in the entire show, this art didn't really do a whole lot for me. It was Naruto and the gang's final villain is Kaguya. The problem with Kaguya as a villain is that she was never established from the beginning. I felt more weight and tension when they were fighting against Madara and Obito, or particularly Madara, because this dude was referenced from episode 1 of Shippuden, so we've all been like, who's Madara? Who's Madara? There's been whispers here, there, left, right, and center about Madara. So their fight against Madara was so much more intense, but then Kaguya appears out of nowhere, and we're like, wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, what? That twist that Black Zetsu was the ultimate villain all along was like, okay. It was surprising, but again, I didn't really feel like it was necessary. I feel like they could have just had Madara as the final villain and just been done with, and then Naruto and Sasuke could have still had their fight. But I feel like Kaguya was only introduced to it for the Boruto series, so that Naruto and the gang have a villain to fight and defeat. But yeah, in the entire arc, this is the best visually looking like moments. Like the animation is so much better, the background designs look amazing, and we get to see interesting worlds where Kaguya like has these different dimensions and all that lot, which I thought was really cool. And Naruto and Sasuke's final fight and clash was intense, and the animation was stellar on that. But overall, this arc was just very to me. So that's just my little opinion. Number 17, we've got the Itachi Pursuit Mission. This arc starts off with a bang with Sasuke versus Orochimaru and him killing Orochimaru, which was really shocking, and like we get to see how much stronger Sasuke has gotten. And that's when he forms the heavy like gang, and that's when obviously he's fighting against Deidara. Meanwhile, Naruto and a few others, like I think it was Team Guy with Team Kakashi, like on just finding where Sasuke is, and that's when Kakashi and Tobi comes face to face, and yeah, that's where we first see the Sharingan of Tobi, I think it is, and it's a pretty standard arc. Not really much happens in it. It's kind of preparing for the big Sasuke versus Itachi fight in a way, so not much really happens in this specific arc. It's kind of substandard. At number 16, we then have the Sasuke recovery arc. This is the last arc in the canon original series. It's basically when Sasuke goes to Orochimaru to get some new power to try and defeat his brother Itachi, and then Tsunade tasks Shikamaru, Naruto and the rest to bring Sasuke home, bring our boy back. And Orochimaru obviously has the Sound Ninja guys fighting against the Konoha 11 boys, except Shino. Shino was pretty salty about that. And it's a pretty dull arc, I'm sorry. Apart from Naruto and Sasuke's fight, this is probably the dullest arc in the entire series. The animation was really bad in this. I didn't like it. I think they were saving for the Naruto versus Sasuke fight and that specific mini arc in a way, like towards the end. I thought that was the highlight of it all. I didn't like any of the battles. I wasn't really into the flashbacks and all that. I thought it was just really slow and boring. The English dubbing did make this arc a little bit more bearable to watch, because having to read it and it just went on and I was just kind of bored watching it, to be honest with you, my dudes. Sasuke versus Naruto's fight was really intense, very emotional. We got to see more Sasuke's backstory and more flashbacks and stuff like that. It was really great. The animation was amazing. Naruto going QB mode was really insane and intense. I really liked that. I liked Sasuke's new power, and their final fight was intense and emotional. But to be honest with you, this entire arc was a drag. I don't really want to rewatch it. It's my least visually favorite arc. It's the arc that has the dullest looking colors out of all of them. I'm sorry, my dudes and dudettes. Not a fun arc for me. Not a fun one. And number 15, this is a very controversial opinion, but I decided to choose the entire Chūnin Exams arc. Yes, even including the third round of this arc. The third round of the arc is the best moment. Like Naruto and Neji's fight is amazing. I really liked Rock Lee and Gaara's fight. That was so great. That was one of my favorite fights in the entire series. I thought it was insane. I loved Lee's backstory. Gaara was frightening during this time. Sasuke just showing up in that black attire was just like, boys, I'm here to wreck shit up, and I'm here to do my thing. I thought, yes, Sasuke, you are a dude, my dude. I loved this entire arc. I mean, I liked these moments in the arc. I loved how when Naruto defeated Neji, the entire village gave him a round of applause, and it was kind of like the first time the village can acknowledge Naruto, and it just really warmed my heart. But mate, that first arc, that first section of this Chūnin Exams arc, the forest arc, that was pretty slow. It was so boring, it was so slow. And it's this running theme where like a lot of these Naruto arcs are always set in forests, and the problem with Naruto is that the worlds don't really look that interesting, you know. There's not many interesting like locations. It's always kind of in a field or in a forest or in the Rocky Mountains. Like compared to One Piece, like at least when they go to a different island, they always look different and unique. But Naruto, everywhere looks kind of the same except for the Cloud Village. That one's a little bit interesting. We'll get to that later on, but I wasn't really a fan of this whole arc and section, you know. Sakura's backstory was really dull and just not interesting, and her fight against Ino was kind of uninteresting and unimportant. I didn't really like any of the fights in this arc. Hinata vs Neji was pretty good. Again, any fight with Naruto was fun, but I just really wasn't digging that forest section. It really hindered my enjoyment of this entire arc, in my opinion. So that's why it's in this section of the list. Number 40, we've got Kakashi and Gaiden, whatever you want to call it. This arc's kind of like a two-parter or a three-parter. It's basically Kakashi's backstory on how he got the Sharingan. I really liked seeing how he got it. I knew he got it from an Uchiha, but I wasn't too sure. I originally thought it was from a dead Uchiha and he stole it or something like that, but no, it was an old buddy of his who gave it to him, and it wasn't really interesting. It only foreshadows what's gonna happen. It's basically an arc to introduce Obito to the story, and he's gonna play a major role in the entire plot overall, to be honest with you. But again, this arc was kind of meh. I didn't really think much about it. It was kind of a dull arc, to be honest with you. It was nice seeing Minato in this arc, and I have heard that this arc wasn't set in Shippuden, but actually sometime before the time skip arc, which I think made more sense. I don't understand why it would have been all the way in Shippuden. It made more sense it being told earlier on in the manga, but yeah, it's a meh arc for me, I'm sorry. Number 13, we got the Akatsuki Suppression Mission arc. This arc's basically mainly the fight against Hidan and Kakuzu. It's basically the death of Asuna, where Asuna is defeated by these guys. I really liked this arc. I really liked how they gave Asuna more screen time, and I liked the little filler arc before this. It gave Asuna a little bit more backstory and a little bit more character development, so when this arc came along, you know, his kick in the bucket really hit us like deep, and Shikamaru's reaction was just heartbreaking, and oh my days, dude, oh my days, it was really sad. And damn, this arc also was the first arc not to have Naruto in it as much. He was mainly like mastering his wind style Rasen Shuriken because he was kind of depressed that he couldn't bring Sasuke home, so he was like training to get this power right. And yeah, him mastering this new power was interesting. Again, I always find it really not weird, but just something that's always bothered me was that Naruto basically went with Jiraiya for 2.5 years to get better. He comes back and he's not even that powerful. He's not really that much different. Then with Kakashi, like he's with him for like 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden, like this dude can master the Rasen Shuriken all of a sudden. I'm like, come on. But yeah, this arc for me, it was good. The villains, I thought, I think it was Hidan.
He was probably one of the most evil Akatsuki out of all of them. A lot of the Akatsuki members have a reason as to why they're part of the group and why they're evil, but Hidan is just evil for the sake of being evil. He doesn't really have any backstory. I think there's more to him. Like, I think I would have liked to have seen a bit more of Hidan's backstory, to be honest with you, but we didn't get any of that. Again, Shikamaru, obviously, like, you know, his plan against trying to take down Hidan and Kakuzu was really interesting. I also thought that the scenery of this arc was really cool, like the location, like the dry ground and like the kind of like brownish trees, but like the really neon like blue sky in a way. When Naruto was doing his special move, like I thought the colors in this arc worked a little bit more than like the Sasuke retrieval arc. I really like that, and again I like Team Asuna more out of all the other ones besides Team Kakashi. Like Team Asuna is one of my faves. I really like that team, so it was cool to see Ino and Choji do something because I really like them, but it was mainly Shikamaru's chapter, like him trying to like find a way to defeat the villain. And yeah, Asuna's death was just, oh my gosh, dude. Oh, it's so hard to watch. It's so hard to watch, man. But yeah, it is what it is. Number 12, we got the Search for Tsunade arc. I really wish I could put this arc higher because I really liked it, particularly in the English dubbing. I thought this was like my favorite English dubbed arc out of all the arcs. I thought this is where the English voices and the acting really started to improve. This arc just starts off with a bang when you've got like Itachi and Kisame basically show up to the lethal of a sudden. You got Kakashi, Guy, Asuna, and Kuronai trying to battle them. Itachi putting Kakashi under that Genjutsu and him just going like, oh my days, Itachi is powerful, like bruh. That was a really good arc. And then you have Jiraiya basically going to take Naruto with him so that he can try and master Rasengan and try and get Tsunade to be the new Hokage of the Hidden Leaf Village. And that's when Sasuke hears about Itachi going after Naruto, and Itachi's like, dude, you're not strong enough, you're pretty weak, man, you're pretty weak. And he's just torturing Sasuke, and it's just like, oh my days, this dude is evil. Like, I was like, oh wow, Itachi is just he's a bad boy. Introducing Tsunade as a character. We get the legendary Sun in Freeway Deadlock, I think that's what they call it. Was really cool. Naruto mastering Rasengan and him, you know, defeating Kabuto was really cool. I love this arc so much. It was really fun. I liked how we got out of the Leaf Village for once, and we got to see other characters besides the normal kids. Yeah, I kind of like the adults a little bit more than the kids for some reason. I like the kids, but like the adults are a little bit more interesting. Like I guess I like seeing Naruto interact with other people besides the youngies. In my opinion, I really like that arc, and it ending with Tsunade being the Hokage was pretty cool and all that lot. But yeah, it is what it is. At number 11, we've got the Tale of Jiraiya the Gallant. Probably one of the goriest arcs in the entire series. Like, this arc, Jiraiya Sensei goes to the village hidden in the rain, and right off the bat, I love this city. Like, I love the location, I love the world. It's so dark and dreary, but it has this sort of like sadness to it as well. Like, no pun intended with like it being raining all the time. But yeah, very gory. Jiraiya versus the Six Paths of Pain was intense and brutal. It did go on for a little bit too long in my opinion, but it was kind of worth it seeing Jiraiya in Sage Mode and his like two froggy powers. I really liked all that jazz. And it ended in him like dying was very unexpected. I wasn't expecting any of that, but we kind of do see it being foreshadowed anyway. I liked how this arc began with Jiraiya and Tsunade talking about the fourth Hokage, and it's the first time we actually get to discover that the fourth Hokage is truly Naruto's dad, and we actually get flashbacks and all this jazz, and we're like, oh, so the fourth Hokage is Naruto's father. Like, oh wow. And we get to see a bit of his relationship with Minato, and Kushino, which was really cool, and just a sad arc, my dudes and dudettes. It could be, I wish it was any higher, but there's just more arcs that I prefer over this arc. Just my silly opinion. Number 10, we got the Land of the Waves arc. This is like the first major arc in the whole story of Naruto. It's Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, and Kakashi's first mission as Team 7. And yeah, they basically go to the Land of Waves and they fight against Zabuza and Haku and all that jazz. You know what it is all about. And yeah, I really like this arc. It was the arc that truly got me into Naruto and truly made me start liking it. If we're talking about the arc or like the first few episodes, I'm just going to include episode 1 up to the end of this arc. I see it as all. It introduces us to Naruto and the whole world, and seeing the art style back then was really interesting. It was very detailed, like the character designs were very expressive back then, and we got to see Team 7's like teamwork and who these people are and what they want to do in life. The rivalry between Naruto and Sasuke begins here pretty much. We're just introduced to our major characters, and then we get Zabuza and Kakashi's fight, which is so cool. Haku, Zabuza's backstory, very emotional and sad, and Naruto, just all of this stuff is just, it really hits the spots, you know. It was really dark all of a sudden. I wasn't expecting it to be this bloody. Naruto releasing his 9 tails for the first time was intense and insane. Yeah, I really liked this, all of it. It was really great, and the way it ended was just very emotional, and it made me realize that villains aren't just these mindless bad people. They all have like a reason to be in the way they are, in a way. And yeah, we got to see that in this arc, to be honest with you, my dudes and dudettes. It was emotional and intense. My only gripe with this arc is that it's super long, man. Oh my gosh, it drags on forever from what I remember. If it was a little bit, it's not too long compared to the other arcs, but as a new anime watcher, as a person getting into Naruto for the first time, this arc was really long. It should have been shorter, just to make it a little bit more appealing for the newbies, in my opinion. That's just my silly opinion. At number 9, we've got the Kazekage rescue mission. This is the first arc of Naruto Shippuden, set 2.5 years after Naruto failed to get his boy Sasuke back to the Hidden Leaf Village. And yeah, this is when the Akatsuki started to strike and they kidnapped the Kazekage so they can take the tailed beast from him. And yeah, Naruto goes crazy all of a sudden. It's cool seeing the gang all back together and like, you know, Naruto all grown up now. It was really nice and cool seeing how strong Sakura got. Sakura was her most competent in the entire show in this arc, like her saving Kakuboko, I think that was his name. And she trying to save Kakuboko was really intense, and Naruto just sitting there being like, man, Sakura-chan is so amazing, I can't do anything about it. And yeah, Sakura was really cool. Her tag team with Granny Chia was really insane and emotional, and yeah, but it just went on for too long, man. Again, another arc that just dragged on. Like, it should have ended like at least 7 or 8 episodes in. It just went on for too long, in my opinion. The reason why this arc isn't too high is because, like, Naruto was just pretty much pissed off through this entire arc. He was very angry and aggressive because of Gaara, because he knew what it was like to be a Jinchuriki, and he was just pissed off with the world, how like these people will just put a tailed beast inside of him without getting their permission, and then how they just have to live their life with that burden, and how they're kidnapped, and you know how they have to die. It was too much for Naruto, and it was too painful because that could be him in that situation, and that's why he's behaving this way. It's kind of scary seeing Naruto acting really violent. Then QB chakra is obviously influencing his like emotion and feelings, in my opinion. But yeah, this was a really intense arc, and yeah, we get to hear more about the Jinchurikis and what they are. It was really good. And seeing Team Gaiden was awesome. I wish they got a little bit more to do instead of fighting themselves, but it is what it is. It is what it is. At number 7, we have got the birth of the 10 Tails. Now, the entire war arc isn't just one arc. It's split into 4 sections. We've got the 4th war basically Countdown, the Fourth War Confrontation, the Fourth War Birth of Ten Tails, and the Fourth War Kaguya Awakens and Strikes. And this third part of the arc, this war arc, was the Birth of the Ten Tails arc, and this arc sees, spoiler alert, Obito Uchiha and Madara becoming the Jinchuriki of the Ten Tails. It spans on for quite some time, and obviously to me the entire war arc is just one arc, but if we're really splitting it, then out of all the arcs, obviously at the beginning, this is like the second worst section of the arc in my opinion. Obviously the first worst part of the war arc was definitely the confrontation when the war begins in the fighting against the White Zetsu. That was a really poorly written arc and just sometimes badly animated, but this was the second worst part of the arc in my opinion. It was better than the other one because at least the animation started to improve and it got interesting. And yeah, Obito turns to the Ten Tails Jinchuriki, and yeah, I think this is the arc where Neji dies, from what I'm aware of. I think it's before or after, but yeah, it was really emotional that Neji kicks the bucket and very sad. But yeah, this arc has a lot of interesting moments, you know. We get a lot of tag team moments with like Tobirama and the Fourth Hokage and Sasuke, Naruto and the Fourth Hokage against Obito, which was really cool, and just a lot of stuff. Orochimaru getting to the battlefield was cool and interesting. Sasuke coming to battle and shocking everyone that he will in a way become the Hokage, and everyone's like, wait, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? Naruto giving his tail chakra mode to everyone, it was cool. Sasuke and Naruto's combo, Kuruma and Susanoo, was really nice. And then Naruto defeating Obito and him just getting to the bottom of why Obito's behaving this way. And the reason why I didn't like it was just, I feel Obito's reasoning was all just kind of stupid. Didn't make sense, and he was just easily manipulated by Madara. Not for one second did he think, is Madara just orchestrating everything that's happening? And yeah, it is. He was kind of stupid and he does regret what happened. And yeah, Naruto defeats Obito with the help of the Konoha 11 group, which was really awesome. And then Madara is basically revived, and yeah, Obito's defeated, the tail beasts are out, Madara gets the Rinnegan, and that's when Naruto and Sasuke both fall, and Obito's like, I'm gonna help you, boy, I'm gonna help you. And that's when he meets the Sage of the Six Paths. This arc also basically we get into detail about who the Sage is and the mother Kaguya, and the worst part of the entire series, Naruto and Sasuke couldn't be in the reincarnations of his sons. That was bad. I hated all that. Oh my gosh, what were they thinking when they did that, man? What were they thinking? I liked the Fourth Hokage battling, like I thought that was cool and it needed to be there, but like that first part of the war arc when they started and they had to fight all the people who were brought back from the dead was just kind of stupid, and I didn't like it. I'm sorry, it was pretty dumb. But yeah, Sasuke's reasoning as to why he wants to join the war, he wants to become Hokage, it doesn't make sense, but then we get to find out later on. This arc's a bit meh, it has some good moments, but it's kind of just all over the place in my opinion. Like power-ups, Naruto and Sasuke just get power-ups. I'm like, it's so unrealistic and it's kind of stupid in my opinion. Number 6, we've got the 4th Great Shinobi War Climax. Now this arc kind of merges into the Birth of the Ten Tails Jinchuriki arc, and this arc, obviously the main reveal of this arc is that Tobi is Obito. Plot twist, I bet you didn't see that coming. Yeah, a lot of people came up with that theory. It's not a big surprise or anything like that. I thought this arc was pretty insane with Madara like being revived and everyone being like, wait, if Madara was dead all along, then who's Tobi? Is he not Madara? And then Madara just basically having this meteor come out from the sky and everyone freaking out and running away. I thought that was cool. The 5 Kage against Madara was intense. It was pretty awesome. I wish we got a bit more of that. Obviously the big moment was Kakashi, Guy and Naruto against the Toby, and he breaks the mask. It's Obito, plot twist. He's doing it for Rin. It's all for Rin. I'm like, oh, wait, it's for Rin? Why is it for Rin? What? Oh, because the world is a bad place, and if Rin was alive, he wouldn't be doing any of it, basically. And you can't swing away. You're just doing it just to see Rin again. Get it? Rin again. He's got the Rin again. He wants to see Rin again. He needs to Rin again to see Rin again. Yeah. Funny. Yeah, this arc was slightly better because at least this is where the war started to get a bit better, and we not knowing who Toby was throughout was very exciting and interesting. Sasuke seeing Itachi being brought back from the dead, and then him confronting him. The tag team battle against flipping Kabuto was really boring. I'm sorry, it was kind of dull and it went on for too long, and it was in the dark and I couldn't see much of it, and I was like, oh, what the heck is going on? Sasuke still saying that I don't care if you're alive, I don't care. Itachi had to flipping come back from the dead and being like, Sasuke, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing all this? Ugh. And yeah, that's when I think roundabout then does I think Sasuke brings back the full Kages, and he gets to hear everything from them, and a lot of stuff starts happening. And yeah, this arc kind of meshes with the birth of the Jinchuriki arc, and everyone and Naruto against Toby and Madara, like all these people against two people. Again, it just doesn't feel realistic, and it just feels, this whole arc was just not really well executed in my opinion. I'm sorry. So number 5, we got the dated battle between bros arc. This arc is basically Sasuke-kun versus Itachi, and this entire fight was just one of the best animated fights in my opinion in the entire series. I flipping loved it. It was a really good arc. It was pretty short, only consisting of like 10 episodes. But yeah, I like this entire like little arc, and just seeing their two powers like come head to head. It was really insane and intense. And then Sasuke just having a focus on the goal, and just like, oh, Itachi's little like tricks. It was insane. It was intense. It was brutal and bloody. Very short, very quick, however. And yeah, it was a pretty. As well as all that insanity, you get the truth about Itachi and why he did what he's doing. Biggest plot twist in Naruto history so far. Like, I don't think anyone saw that coming at all. Like, that came out of nowhere. And Sasuke's reaction was probably everyone else's reaction when he was just like bawling his eyes out. And yeah, that was a really good arc. But at number 4, we've got the Tenchi Bridge Reconnaissance mission arc, basically the new Team Kakashi arc. And if you don't know this arc or remembered it, it's the one where Sai and Yamato joined Naruto and Sakura and formed a new Team Kakashi after Kakashi's basically a bit battered from the previous arc. And yeah, this arc was probably, out of all the Naruto arcs, it's probably the best paced arc out of all of them. Like, I flipping loved everything about it. I loved Sai's introduction. Yamato was the new leader. Naruto going crazy, turning into like the 4 QE mode. His battle against Orochimaru was super great. We get a lot of like, story and like interesting development with Sai, and then we get Naruto and Sasuke meeting first, again for the first time in like 3 years, which was really cool. And yeah, it was a really good arc. Like, I thought the pacing felt really fast and it flowed really smoothly throughout. I didn't really hate anything about it. It was a really dope arc, really great arc. I flipping loved it. Very good. But at number 3, we have got the Kage Summit arc. Yeah, this arc, and I would say the 4th Shinobi War countdown, I would probably put at number 3 and 2, just because I actually just think they're just one arc, the Kage Summit arc pretty much. And this entire summer is basically how the 5 nations are trying to like deal with the Akatsuki, and Sasuke joining the Akatsuki, and Naruto learning about everything what Sasuke's been doing. you know, joining the Akatsuki and all this, and then you get Sasuke and Danzo's epic fight in this, and I just flipping love this art just because it was really cool. Like, I mean, there wasn't too many fights and battles. It was a lot of like information and dialogue, which I really liked. But Sasuke's like his interaction and him just going crazy was just so entertaining. Him basically making a mockery and a scene in the Kage-sama was really interesting, and I love that. Toby coming out of nowhere and starting a declaration of war was really good. Then we have like flipping Naruto confronting Sakura and Sakura telling Naruto about her feelings and just all that stuff. I didn't like how Sakura was like lying to Naruto so that she can go and kill Sasuke, but it was what it was in a way. Sasuke versus Danzo's fight was so insane and intense. Sasuke at this point, when he found out Danzo had Uchiha Sharingan in his arm, he just went crazy and insane. He really went insane, to be honest with you. This dude, he went insane. Really cool things happened, like Tsunade waking up, Toby preparing for war, everyone discussing the matter and what they had to do, the preparations for war. And then like the highlight was definitely Naruto going to that island to battle his dark self, and we basically get to see Naruto and what he's really been thinking, what he really feels, and what he's been thinking deep down inside after all these years. We get an emotional moment with his mother, and we get a little bit more of her backstory and stuff like that. We flipping love all that jazz and that stuff. Oh, it's really good. And yeah, Toby and Kana's fight was super insane and emotional, and just but just all the preparations for war was just insane. The Zetsus, you know, coming up, and then Kabuto proposing to get all like, you know, all the like dead shinobis to be brought back to life. All of that was so good. I loved all of that stuff, all that good stuff, really good stuff. But obviously number one is definitely the Pain of Soul arc on the Hidden Leaf Village. That was definitely the best arc in a way. If not for the deal of Sasuke and all this jazz, this arc probably would have ended Naruto pretty well. We've got the leader of the Akatsuki basically attacking the Hidden Leaf Village, and just a lot of insane stuff, him just going crazy, wiping out all these great shinobis. It was just so insane. Hinata stepping in and protecting her boy. The animation was insane when Naruto went crazy and released the Nine Tails power. Him meeting Minato for the first time, finding out that Minato is not only that the fourth Kage is his father, and all this stuff. It was just so great. And then Naruto's final confrontation and him just like it was a really good arc. Him learning about Nagato and all this really cool stuff, and then you have him like being celebrated and him being like acknowledged by the entire village for the first time ever. I loved all that stuff, and that's why it's my favorite arc. But what's your favorite arc in the series? It's just my silly opinion, but thank you for watching. Like and share this video, comment down below, and as always, I boarded reviews signing out.